We are doing the live thing again. Let's see here. I think we are all set up on the YouTube channel, hopefully. Something just froze for a second, but it looks like we're still moving. Good to go. Looks like we're moving on the YouTube channel. That's looking like it's online. TikTok is online. Okay, so looks like that thing's going. That's up and working. And today's Christmas. Man, we just zazzed through this year all the way to 24th of December. And now the year is coming to an end. In fact, as I look at as I looked at the sales cycle for the year for our company, and I looked at just all the changes and the forward movement that's happened in the organization that I run. This is a really contemplative season. I mean, for everybody, it seems on the planet, but I'm no different in the fact that I look back on the year and just really like, okay, so what happened? Was that what was supposed to happen? And did we actually grow? And did we achieve the things that we set out to achieve? And if not, why? And all those thoughts at this time of the year are going through my head. And so this on building the multi-million dollar company masterclass, I wanted to do just a little bit different because of the family aspect, because it's Christmas, because there's so many kind of sentimental and very profound, meaningful moments that happen specifically on this day. I mean, some of the most memorable times in my life happened, on Christmas Eve with my family. I mean, I can remember Christmases where the pile of Christmases presents. So I don't know if you had a large family, but my family. So my father, he had 12 kids. No, no, no. My father, he was one of 12 brothers and sisters, and my mother, she was one of eight. And I had eight children. And so whenever we'd gather for Christmas at the grandparents' house, especially on my mom's side, because they loved Christmas, they would the Christmas presents pile would be taller than the tree. Like literally, the pile of Christmas presents would be like you couldn't see the tree for the Christmas presents. If you've ever heard that saying, you can't see the forest for the trees. But in this case, it was like you could not see the Christmas tree for the Christmas presents. They were piled up so high around the tree. And it was just such an amazing time where so many loved ones were coming together and just sharing and just, participating in that the Christmas event, no matter how the year went. When you have such a large family and uh, when you have a lot of different, like eight people, I mean, eight families come together and some of their children. So that means grandchildren, uncles and aunts, and all of those coming together on Christmas. Some people had great years, and some people had really, really hard years. And when I was thinking about this masterclass today, even I was even talking about with this with my wife earlier today, and we're like, okay, so should we do the masterclass on Christmas Eve, or should we just forego it? Should we not? Should we not do a broadcast today? And it's like, you know what? Um, let's do it. And you're like, it would be it's a meaningful time of the year, and there's so many contemplative thoughts that we can share as we work through as we think about the new year, as we think about the ending of the old year, and just kind of the transition period, going through that process, that kind of that sentimental, that like, okay, finally a thing is done, and now we get to look forwards to what's next. Or is it the problem that, and that's kind of the problem I want to attack a little bit of today, is we're not where we want to be. I'm not where I want to be physically. I'm not where I want to be intellectually. I'm not where I want to be spiritually. I'm not to where I want to be in my relationships with my family. I'm not where I want to be money wise. I'm not where I want to be. You name it, whatever it is for you. That might be the case in your life, and that is why I make this channel. Man, gosh, that just hit me hard. I mean, I know you don't know what I'm like, man. Okay, so the sentiment I had when I said that right now is that I started from absolutely nothing, from a place of complete brokenness, to get to the place where I am now with our family, with our relationships, and with the incredible, unbelievably amazing life that we created and God gave us through the investment of efforts and the application of principle over time. That's the reason I made this channel. That's the reason we started doing the broadcasting. That's the reason for all of the things that we have is that, and all the content we broadcast is that we once were broken and without, and now we've moved to a place where of great success, of great comfort, of great blessing on so many sides. And if it be possible for us to help anyone else along that journey, we want to do that. We want to make sure we do that. And when I say we, I mean the people behind the scenes online helping me stay online right now. I mean my wife and my kids. I mean my team in my company. I mean all of that, all of those incredible and loving people who say, we once were uh, in not a place of success, and now we've gotten to a place of incredible winning and success, and that's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey, ups and downs, and twists and turns, and problems, and mountains to climb, and deep, deep lows. And if you find yourself in that spot in your life right now, then I hope you subscribe. I hope you follow us on the channel. I hope you engage with the content. I hope you would send us, I wish you would send us a question and that we can help you to navigate whatever it is that you're working through. Because chances are we've navigated through something very similar and can help you be able to do that. And so that's why the broadcast today is so meaningful to me, is because when I look back on just what has happened over these past mm, um okay, so I've been married 16 years, and my wife and I got married about 16 years ago, and we had this period where we are kind of going up, and then we had a really hard fall, just splat, bottom of the barrel, no bouncing, just bam, splat. And then a period of being in the desert for like 2 years. And then a period of slow and gradual upward movement after we gained clarity, after we implemented processes at work that we shared, that I'm going to share some of that stuff with you today. And I hope you engage with the content and that you listen and that maybe it helps you in some special way. But if you're joining us on TikTok or if you're joining us on YouTube, please feel free to drop a comment in the chat below. By the way, Karina, are we fine on all the platforms? Are we looking fine on YouTube? Are we looking fine on TikTok? If you would please just let me know. And anybody else, if you can hear me, that would be great. If you could just tap, yeah, I can hear you. That way, I know we're streaming live and everything's fine. Um, so yeah, with that intro, I just kind of set the stage for today. If you found yourself in a place that you don't want to be, then this is the right channel for you to be listening to right now, because we were in such a place at such a time. Sorry, my watch is answering me. It's like, be quiet, watch. It's hearing me say Siri, and I'm not saying Siri. Go to sleep, Siri. Anyways, so if you found yourself in a place that you don't want to be in life, and the harsh reality, like if you just want to go if you want to go full on harsh, is which is not the point of today, but if you want to go full on brutal harsh, it's like you're exactly where you want to be. That's the real truth. However, if you found your place in a place that you don't want to be, then there are systems, there are principles, and there are practices to be able to change that and move forward. But they are hard. And that's why when I made this channel, that I didn't want to make a channel where I just talked about, the just like you could be successful and like motivate people, because honestly, none of those ever helped me very much. It was the people that gave me the truth, that said, hey, this is going to suck for a season, and if you make it through, on the other side, it's going to be amazing. But it might take you 2 years, it might take you 5. Are you okay with that? And those interactions with people vastly help my mentality around what it would take to prosper. And that's why we stuck with it. And so if you're joining on YouTube or TikTok, please like the live, and follow on YouTube, because I share content about growing your family, your business, and yourself in a way that actually works. So again, a little bit about myself. My name is Jason Ellinger. If you're new, if you've never met me before, my name is Jason Ellinger. I'm the CEO of Taika Translations. We're a language services company, government contractor for the United States government. We've been in business for about 11 years, totally 16 from the very, very beginning. My wife started the gig that we do as a freelancer, and then we just blew it up from there. And been married for 16 years. Also have 8 children with my one wife that we've been married to for all these years. And I've grown a multi-million dollar company from nothing to a multi-million dollar net worth over a period of 10 years, or 11 years, I guess, in total, as we started that journey from that splat point in our life to the multi-million dollar level. It took us about 10 years, and now we're operating at that level and continue to work on growth. So the journey's not been easy. Like I said, lots of ups and downs, but that's kind of what I want to share a little bit about with you today, to kind of give you some of the foundation, some of the framework that you can use. And just as you look forward, as you contemplate the things the realities that you want to be true in your life for this forthcoming year, that you would be able to do it with courage, with resolve, and with the confidence to know that as you take those steps forwards, that you are doing the right stuff that will lead you in the right direction. And so the first topic that I want to just mention to talk through today is the topic of focus. And I know it's, when I think about focus, that scene from when John Wick, he's beating the snot out of his basement. He took a sledgehammer. He's breaking the concrete in his basement, and they're talking about Baba Yaga, Baba Yaga's Baba Yaga. What do they call it? The boogeyman. They call him the boogeyman, and they're saying, well, John Wick, you just killed his dog. He is a man of extreme and undeniable focus. And that scene is the one that's kind of coming to my mind at the moment. And if you're not where you want to be, this is the first word that we have to completely and fully engage with, and allow its effect to impact our life. So the word focus. Now, what does that mean? Like, okay, focus. We all know focus is good. We all know focusing is fine. Tunnel vision is not good, but focus is good, right? So the first thing I want to point out about this subject, and maybe just to share, help just to broaden a little bit of horizon with, is in a specific period of your life, in your family, in your business, in your personal aspect of life, there are periods, and in each period you must have a theme that you're working through. So for example, in your company, it might be we need to change our company face. Maybe you've never had or maybe we actually have to create a company face, which means we need to create content, or we need to create a website, or we need to create all the broadcasting, or we need to create branding guides and materials and all of that stuff. And you need help with that, and you need to actually create that. And so it's going to take you months to do. So that's going to be a focus and it's going to turn into a thematic goal for that period of the year to help you be able to move in the direction you want to go. And that
Jason,
yes.
TikTok is freezing.
TikTok is freezing. Oh my gosh, let me see if I can fix that. All right, let me see if TikTok, if we can get if we can stream through a different let's see. Let's try this. Maybe we can try through here. Thank you very much, Karina. My support here said TikTok is freezing and I need to fix it. All right, how is that, Karina? Can you let me know if TikTok is still freezing, or are we still good? Are we okay? Let me know how it's looking. Are we moving? Typically when you
Better
move a lot on
now.
the screen.
Great.
Okay. All right, we're going to leave it on there. Thank you very much, Karina. Appreciate that. All right, so we're not freezing anymore. So the point is that in order to move from that splat, I am not where I want to be, to a place where I actually want to be, um, there are in that process, we're going to have to go through seasons that we have thematic goals for the season. So an example of this might be, If you're severely out of shape, then the first 6 months of the year might be a season where the thematic goal is to drop, I don't know, 50 pounds, like ridiculous, going real hard. And that might be what you have to do for a season to get to a place where you can start to maintain that level of excellence in your life to help you be able to lift yourself in other areas. So focus for a season in a specific area is vital. When you start a company, you have to work 27 hours a day. Like there's only 24. I know there's only 24, but you have to work like 27, meaning you have to make up for lost time and work more than you possibly can in a single day to make yourself be able to get up off the ground. If you don't do that, it's very unlikely for you to be able to make it past the 5 year mark. That season is going to require a specific theme for your life, and the goals must align with that theme. So, focus says this is what I want, and this is what is required. And during this time of this period, I'm going to have this theme. Now, why is that important? Because that gives everyone in your life, especially your family members, the close family members, and like if you have a large family like I have, my oldest son is going on 16 and my youngest just turned 2. When I tell them, here, this is a theme for our family for this next 3 months. And it means we're not going on vacation. It means we're not doing this or that. It means this has to be a reality by the end of these 3 months. Guys, can you help me make that a reality? And just imagine, just imagine for a second, you sitting in your living room and you've got 8 kids, like I do, 8 kids sitting on the couch, and you and your wife are sitting there with them, and you're talking about goals and about the future. And like, okay, guys, so this is the thematic goal for our family for the next 3 months. And at the end of that 3 months, we're going to do this really cool thing. However, these 3 months are going to be kind of hard. You're going to have to, help in these ways. You guys can maybe help by being quiet while Papa's on the live stream, or maybe you can clean up something to help in, whatever way you can help. Whatever ways you come up with as a family, and then they are engaged and they know that, hey, for this period, this is what's required, and there's going to be an end and a reward at the end of this process. And so I think that sometimes that aspect of family leadership is left out, and we don't look at our families like a whole team. In reality, if you engage your family really and truly in the way that you should in your life and in your business, in the success of your home, like if you view your home as one united and strong team that can do almost anything that they put their mind to, and you can teach your children that that is the reality, then it becomes an incredibly productive and fruitful place to live and to interact. And you have so many opportunities for incredible and very meaningful conversations while you do it. Imagine how much they can learn as they work through some of those thematic periods of your life together with you. You say, "Hey, mom or dad, realizes that such and such needs to be a reality for us, and it's currently not." And what we want to do is we want to change that. We want that to be a reality of our life, so that we actually can prosper in this area. And for that to be a reality, this is what's going to be required. Can you guys help with that? And by the way, when I remind you of of the help that I need with that, just remember that as we go through this thing, we really need you to engage. And it's going to be a little bit hard, and it's going to take a while, but we're actually going to accomplish this thing, and then we're going to be able to grow from there. And so, around the family leadership and family unification, as you work through hard things in your company, I think it's vitally, vitally important to really to share that thematic goal, and then to help create that alignment inside of your family with the mechanism for first of all of focusing yourself on what needs to be done, deciding that thematic period for what looks like in the future. It could be 3 months, could be 6 months, depending on what it is you're after and how dynamic the thing is that you're working to overcome. And then measuring that progress forwards and celebrating that often with your family. It can be an unbelievably meaningful experience. And like the old Chinese proverb says, it's not the end result that matters, it's the journey that gets you there. And so much of like that element of reality in family and in family business is really a powerful reality. And so many times that we don't get the benefit of that simply because we don't engage and we don't focus and create the thematic goal focus and communicate that to our family, what this season is going to look like. And when we don't do that, we don't set the expectations, they don't become engaged. We're frustrated when they're noisy, they're frustrated when they don't understand why. We need them to help out in certain ways, and everybody just gets at each other's throat, and it just makes a very unpleasant environment, and it adds to your likelihood of not being able to accomplish that thing. So honestly, before I went and did this live today, it's Christmas Eve, right? So told my kids, I said, hey guys, so for this live, I'm upstairs, I'm on the third floor in my house, and I said, hey guys, um, uh, for this live, you don't have to be quiet. You can't fight right next to me, but you don't have to be quiet. I would actually prefer you to make a little joyful noise and just enjoy the day. And I don't want you to feel like you have to be super quiet while I'm doing this live stream, because this is really it's a Christmas day, and it's kind of much more relaxed. And I'm not just going through this really, just really uh I want to say this really hard teaching. Okay, I'm not just going through this process and where I need to really sharply really relay a ton of information. I want this to be a little bit more open and a little bit more interactive as I talk through some of the content that I'm delivering today. So you don't have to be quiet. And so that preparation for my kids and letting my wife know that as well is like, we don't have to keep the house completely stone cold quiet. It actually, we can make some noise and it's just fine. And so those types of preparations for the family to help them to be able to prepare for what they need to do to help you get where you want to go are so, so important to help keep that focus alive. Because the more people you have in your life engaged in what it is that you're going towards and what you want to accomplish, the more likely it is that you will get there. And vice versa. The more people in your life that don't align with what you want to accomplish in your life, the less likely that you will get there. I've had different times of my life where I've had to say, hey guys, where I've had to limit time with certain friends because they didn't believe a certain way. I mean, they don't believe the same thing I do about why you should even pursue any success in finance or in success in family or some of the values that I have that I want to be a reality for in my life. And I have to choose that. I have to decide what that reality is. And then if there's a lot of people around me that don't align with that, I'm sorry, but they don't go along for the journey and their opinion doesn't matter. It's your opinion with your spouse's opinion if you're married, and that's what matters for you. And so you have to drive to that crystal clear focus and then engage everyone in your life by letting them know what the theme is for this season of your life. And now that kind of moves a little bit forwards. That's kind of moving the conversation now a little bit forwards to the next aspect of what I wanted to talk about with regards to the focus side of things, and that is the reality that if you don't have a greater vision beyond that unique focus and a reason why you're doing the thing, why you need to lose weight, why you want to save money, why you want to buy that house, why you want to whatever, then it makes it much harder when the going gets tough. And that's the last piece of this focus section that I wanted to kind of just deliver to you today, is that you will create a focus area. You will create the right people in your life so that you can get the people around you that are going to help you charge forwards and be able to do that. And then reality's going to hit. You might get sick, and you might get sick with something more severe. You might get in a car accident. You might have a big problem in your relationships. Something might happen to you that you have absolutely no control over, and it's very likely that it will. Anytime within any 7-year period of our lives, the data shows that 7 to 8 years, any 7 to 8 year period of a life, I'm not being a doomsdayer, but any 7 to 8 year period of our life, we'll have a major negative event happen to our life. And in my life, even as I move through different levels of success, it's never that reality rings true. And so many times we create this thematic goal, we have a focus, we get people engaged, but we don't say, and life is going to happen. And there are going to be challenges that we will face that might set us back, throw us off track, or distract us from where we want to go. You're on your health journey, and your friend wants to have a wedding in Bali, and all of a sudden you have to fly over there, and you're gonna have you're gonna meet them on the beach and do all this great party stuff out there, and you're gonna take a month to figure out this travel and change all those time zones and go over there and eat all this fancy food and then come back, and you're like, well, heck, I wanted to lose 20 pounds, but I gained 3. Well, that was completely wrong. And so life is gonna happen. And so many times when we create our focus without the aspect of uh, reality. And reality is that sucky things happen if you live long enough. And if they haven't happened to you within the past month, they're probably going to happen to you sometime in the near future. And that's why a lot of people say, well, because bad things happen, God can't exist. Otherwise, He would keep all the bad things from happening. No, it's because of the bad things that so many times we can see the hand of God working in our lives and how we understand that we need Him. And so, um, as you work on focusing for the forthcoming year, as you work on engaging the family, as you work on understanding the seasons that you need to assign a thematic goal to, make sure that the reality of hard is interwoven into that, and that when hard hits, that you don't just get so knocked off track that you completely lose all focus and you are completely disoriented and unable to move forwards. Okay. A great vision is far more meaningful to you than anything bad that could happen in your life. And so, one of the, you know, s- I was speaking to one of our team members, or multiple of our team members actually this week. And as I was driving one day, coming back from the gym, I was really thinking about, and this is something I do often. I think about, purpose and meaning, because it's a big part of a job of a CEO, is to make sure we're connecting the why we do the work to the work itself. And you know, driving to clarity is a never ending process for that. And so as I was thinking through, I was like, okay, so part of this thing is we have to make a bunch of money, but that's not the only reason we do this. We make a bunch of money so that we can help a bunch of people, but not just help people for helping people's sake. We make the money so that we can help people, but we make it so that we can help them experience Jesus. What the world just hit me? I got a fly or something? So what was that? Anyways, so that's why we do it. And when I had that kind of that concrete and uh, very compact moment of clarity that I was able to share with the team, was like, so part of the reason that all of this exists altogether is because we want to make a whole lot of money to help a whole lot of people experience Jesus. And in our lifetime, that's really part of our it's part of our that's the essence of why we work, and that's how we make the world a better place as an organization. And so you have to establish those things in your own life. Why do you do the stuff that you do? And why do you want the things that you want? Because that is going to give you the wherewithal to proceed through the reality of hard. It is going to get hard if there is no vision. beyond, I want to lose 30 pounds to look sexy at the beach. If you have no vision beyond that, that is not enough to carry you forwards when the going get tough. It will get tough, and you will not have the wherewithal to carry you forwards through that challenge. And so that's why I'm talking about the theme of focus today with in regards to family, in regards to actually succeeding and achieving the thing that you want to grow into and overcome or achieve or work through. And then uh, making sure that those transition into real actionable goals for your family and for your personal leadership of yourself. Because the person that is most hard to lead is ourself. I'm no different. You're no different. We're all the same. The person who's most hard to lead is me. I look in the mirror, and that person is the one that I have to control the most. After you've achieved a few levels of success in life, you've gone through a specific thing. Maybe maybe the first one was you lost some weight, and as you were losing weight, you got on a budget and you started doing a little better with your money. And as you did that, maybe you paid off your two cars, and you moved through this different levels. And you thought, well, I will never go back to another stage, to a previous stage ever again, and I will never be at those at a lower stage ever again, and it will never happen to me. And then boom, all of a sudden you find yourself at a previous stage where you thought you would never be back to. And you have a choice. You can give up, get frustrated, become overwhelmed, not be able to proceed, or you can work through the challenge, accept the problem, and make the change in your goals and plans to be able to help you charge forwards. And so many times we just lose ourselves when reality of heart hits our plans, and then we make the stupid phrase. I just hate this phrase. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. I despise that because it means you're making an excuse to not set a vision and charge forwards with a plan that works. And you're intentionally not doing that for yourself or for your family. And those people have a really hard time at prospering over the long term. They're like, well, whatever happens will happen, but I do want more money, but I do want a nicer car, but I would like to own my home with debt, completely debt free, but I would like to send my kids to college. And you can't, because you said whatever happens what happens, and if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Well, the problem probably is that you made really sucky plans that didn't have reality woven into those plans, and life hit and you got off track, and now your plans didn't work and you blamed it on God when you should be blaming it on yourself. And so I just want to share that with you because sometimes you're moving forward, you get kicked back to a step, and then you get completely discouraged that the entire process doesn't work, and you throw it off, and then you're just like, whatever. You only live YOLO, you only live once. Screw all of that, trying to get better stuff. So focus, the thematic goals, the seasons, and the ages. I'm sorry, and the reality of heart. Vision, goals, and family and personal leadership. Those things all have to be a reality if we're going to be charging forwards in the new year. And so leading yourself is the hardest person to lead. So start with you. Start with the person in the mirror. That's who we start leading first. Before we can lead anyone else. And understand that sometimes you think you have overcome something, and then you gain those 5 pounds back because you haven't been paying attention. You haven't been sticking to your diet. You haven't been doing your exercise, or just life happens. Just for me, for example, um, I went on a trip I was doing my exercises really, really strictly for 4 months. A new exercise routine after I'd been running for 25 years. I completely changed due to some physical health needs or health realities that I had to face for myself. And I had to transition into a different type of workout routine, transitioned. And then I went on a 3 week trip where some was work, some was leisure, and I came back, and I'm a little bit worse off than I was before. Uh, as I start going to the gym again. But what do I do? Do I just give up and stop? No, I just pick up where I am and start stepping forward from there. And that's how we work through some of the biggest challenging and demotivating factors that enter into our life. We don't get discouraged. We don't throw the towel in. We simply acknowledge the reality of life, and they acknowledge that hard exists, and that's going to be part of us, our success in the long run, and that's going to be part of us working through and building something meaningful. So the vision aspect, the goals aspect, and the family and personal leadership are something that complete completely intertwine with the focus and the thematic and the seasons of the new year that's coming into effect. And I think if you go into it with that mentality, and you really engage with the principles that cause you to be able to win, then the year at the end will be much more of what you want it to be and much less of what you don't. And again, the problem with that we started with is, if you look back on this year and you're really honest with yourself, are you exactly where you want to be? Are you where you want to be right now? If the answer is no, then that, like I said, this is a good place for you to be, because that's what I talk about, help people with, and that's what I've done in my own personal life that's caused us to go from zero to multi-million-dollar net worth in 10 years or less. And um, and that's what's caused us to be able to have a strong family, have a great relationship with my wife, have a growing team that loves what they do and who they do it with, and that actually produces meaningful results. And so, if you want that kind of reality in your life, then this is the channel where you should be hanging out, because that's how we're going to. That's how. Whoa. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, just use cellular data, whatever that is. Okay. Because this is the reality. No, actually, no. I need to switch. That was the bad one. I just realized that that was the bad one. Let me try that. Ah, let me switch to this here. Okay. Oh, or did it switch back? Karina, I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Is the TikTok still going just fine?
No, you paused the live.
Is it back on now?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so continuing forwards then in the discussion today, and if you would like to ask a question, please at this juncture, please type it in the chat, because even if you're watching this afterwards, like even if you're watching this in the evening or the afternoon, or you're out in your hunting stand and you got your earpods in, and you're just waiting for a deer to walk by, and you're hanging out with me there, drop me a comment and I'll see it at some point and I will be able to respond to that. Okay, so are we looking fine on YouTube? Because I'm getting some freezing on my screen over here. Are we good there, Karina? I hope so. If we're not, Karina will tell me. All right. So the third and final point of today is being consistently well. Too many of us don't pay enough attention to this area of our lives. Being consistently well. To be consistently well, it there is a required application of intentional thinking and acting based on the principles and values you have. So many times in our life, our unhappiness with where we are comes from our lack of intentionality to think through and intentionally align with those things that cause us to get to where we want to go. For example, you might be a single man and you want to be married, and you are living in your mother's basement, and you don't have a job that gives you that makes you attractive, and you're kind of a slob, and you don't want to work out, and you just want to be comfortable all the time. That is ridiculously unattractive for somebody who's serious about their lifelong mate. They don't want to be married to somebody like that. They want to be married to somebody who's going to create a great future for themselves and for the person who goes with them on that journey. So, if I want to be married and be in a relationship, what does that mean I need to do? It means Might mean I need to go to the gym and drop like 30 pounds. It might mean that I need to become somebody who has better hygiene. It might be mean I need to freaking move out of my mother's basement and move into my own apartment and create some independence in my own life that demonstrates that I can care for, love, and have the character and integrity to bring somebody else into my life and succeed together. Because if you have no success whatsoever in your life and nothing that points in that direction, then nobody will want to go with you on that journey and marry you or be in a relationship with you. So if your value is I want to be in a if your desire is that I want to be in a marriage relationship or in a relationship, then I have to align with the thinking and the principles that get me there. And that becomes pretty easy. But okay, the principles are easy, but they're hard because you have to do it every day and it's a long-term process. And you don't get to stop wherever I did one and now I'm done. No, it's you leading yourself for a really long time, and then you become much more attractive because not even I'm not even talking about how you look. I mean how your life looks. If your life looks much more attractive, you all of a sudden become much more attractive, no matter how physically attractive you actually are. And so, required application of intentional thinking. I'm just looking down at my notes here on my computer uh, that I wrote. Anyways, required application of intentional thinking and acting based on the principles and values and the desires that you have. This is probably the most important part of the entire talk today because even in the Bible it says where your heart is, and that's ultimately how your life is going to look. Or your life is a compilation of everything that happens inside of you that comes out of you. And if you are broken and sad and disturbed inside, guess what the life around you is going to ultimately look like. You can hide some of it, but a lot of it, it's not going to be what you're probably going to have issues with weight. Probably going to have issues staying off the screen on your phone or tablet or whatever it is, whatever screen it is we're latched onto every evening. Probably going to have issues with some of our relationships. Probably going to have friction in some areas, right? So if that's the case, then what are the required actions and thinking mechanisms that we have to implement into our life to cause us to most likely grow and prosper in the new year? Well, I need to um, I need to become more disciplined. Well, no duh. I need to become more disciplined. That's a pretty generalized term, but everybody needs to be able to do more discipline in order to achieve anything. Okay. So, what's next? So, how do I get more focused with that? And what areas really matter to me? Okay. I want to look like this. All right. People who look like this do XYZ. Do I do XYZ? No. Do I allow myself to think in the way that allows me to do XYZ? Currently, no, but that has to change. Improve. People don't like change, but they love improvement. So that's just a bonus for you. If you're ever talking to people and you want them to change, don't tell them they have to change. Say, we're going to create improvement. It's like one of those CEO buzzwords. Anyways, all right. So we're making an improvement in our organization. That means things are going to change and they're going to change now, and we're going to do some things differently. So being consistently well means I have to identify what I want to be a reality. I really want to look like that. All right. If you want to look like that, those people do this to get there. Are you doing this? And now I'm going to say, I'm going to do that. And now I'm going to think the way that I need to think so that I can do those things. And maybe I can't do them at first. Maybe I can only do one of the five. But I'm going to start with the first one. And I'm not going to be discouraged because I'm going to work through all five until I can do all five. And then I will look like that as I work through this process. So I might have to change the diet. I might have to increase my exercise, do some cardio, start lifting some weights, start doing a weekly weekly weigh in, and all those types of things that cause me to be able to become more of that thing or that person that I want to be. And being consistently well means that we're paying attention to the things that we want more often, the things that we want to be a reality, and the things that deeply matter to us. For me, my family matters greatly. For me, my relationship with my wife matters more than anything else in the world. For me, my my organization and their team members and their families matter incredibly. They have a huge portion of what I care about in this life. And if that is a reality, then it causes me to make some inclinations towards the activities that I need to do to be able to prosper, to help them prosper, and to help them grow, hold them accountable, and to teach the characteristics and the principles in the organization that I run to be able to help them to get where they want to go. So being consistently well means that you know what it is that you want to do and where you want to go, and that you've made that painfully clear. So many people don't do this. Sorry. So many people don't do this simply because they're afraid of letting themselves down. And that, honestly, is not a wellness place to be. People who succeed and grow into things and grow in areas that they really want to see progress in and that they really get much value out of, they they constantly say, okay, these are the things that I want to be a reality, and these are things I'm going to be going after, and these are the things that I have to do to get there. And that just breaks down from, okay, this is why I want it to be reality. Now I've broken down into vision and goals, and now I can say, all right, with very great wellness and intentionality of mind, spirit, and all the activities that I can, and all the energy in myself and in my life that I can muster, that I want to go this direction and this is how I'm going to get there. And so many times we're not well fully because we haven't said, we're too afraid to admit what we really want to be true of ourselves in our life. And we go a really long time without ever accomplishing that or paying attention to that area of our life because maybe we're just worried about others people's opinions. Maybe we're just saying, well, tradition says we do things this way, or if I want to do that, then that's completely unacceptable. Now I'm not saying like something completely crazy off the wall nutty. I'm saying like, well, I really wanted to live in a foreign country for a year, and uh, I've never been able, I can't do that. And but it's such a powerful deep desire of my life, and I can't, and I'm not doing that, and I can't do that. Or maybe it's that I really want to buy a new house or a new apartment in a specific area, and I'm not doing that because people like us don't live there, even though you could create a plan, get on a budget, and build the resources to be able to do that. And so that's what I mean about being consistently well. The only way to produce the realities that you want to be true in your life is to be consistently well. And to be consistently well, you actually have to acknowledge what it is you want to accomplish, and you have to go about the business of of finding out what it is for what do those people who are in that position where you want to be do, and then start doing that stuff. And then being able to stick at it for long enough. And the normal way that most of people get kicked off of it is they have too many people around them that say it's dumb. That what they truly want to be a reality in their life is dumb. Or we shouldn't do that. Or people like us don't do that. Or we don't get that. And that's when your environment, the reality of the people around you, that has to change in order to be able to move forward to get where you actually want to go in life. And so being consistently well is a massive part of the journey that you have to work through to be able to accomplish those things that you want. And that is you becoming very clear about what it is that you want to be a reality for your life, and then get about the business of doing it, but making sure you're in the environment that allows you to get there. So, around these things, we started with the problem. I'm not where I truly want to be. And if that's you, and if you have found yourself in that position at the end of 2025, I hope you like this channel, that you follow it, that you follow me on TikTok and on YouTube, because I'm talking about this stuff day each and every day. And I've gone from completely broke and broken to multi-million dollar status in a period of 10 years. And you can do that too, but it simply was me aligning with what my wife and I wanted to create, and then daily getting about the business of doing it, starting the process, and then sticking with it over the years. That didn't happen in the first 3 years. At first, we had, gosh, we moved. I had just lost my job. We moved, and I lost my job, and we started the company, and we sold all our vehicles and moved to a different place. And so we didn't have a vehicle, we didn't have anything except for like 2 pallets worth of stuff. We had been married for about 6 years at that point, and we just did I mean, we were at the very bottom. And we had 3 kids, the very bottom, and life really sucked at that point. But then we said, "All right, so what do we want?" And we were very honest with each other about that exact direction in life that we wanted, about the reality that wanted to be created in our family, and in relation to our community. And we said, we want to create this, and if we can create this, this will show us that we can move to whatever the next level is. And so the only challenge that you face with that, with you, when you move through different levels, great levels of success, is you move through that level of success, and then you realize, wait a minute, that's not the end, because you still have the life to live, and you accomplish these incredible goals. But it does say to you this, you know what, if we can get to this place in life, then we can freaking accomplish anything that we want throughout our lifetime. And so then you start working on that, and start to work on what that looks like for you and for your family. So when my wife and I started back there at that time of our life and just lost everything and were completely broken, it was just a time where we got to sit down, and like, if you found yourself exactly where you do not want to be, it might be the perfect place to be for you to drive and build that clarity in your life, so that you can grow to the place that you do want to be, with a lot more consistency and a lot more likelihood. Because most of getting to where you want to be in your life is more about you you becoming clear about that, what that is, and having that in front of you consistently in all the work that you're doing, so that every element of your life starts to, sorry, there's a fly that just flew in here or something, so that all the elements of your life start working together for you instead of against you. And when you don't know, or you don't specifically clarify what it is that you're going after, then you start to run into that. Well, I'm not really sure what I should. Well, I'm not sure, really sure. This, I don't make that clarity enough. I don't make it clear enough for myself, and nobody else in my life knows about that. So no one can help me, and I can't even help myself to get where I want to go, because I'm not making that clear, that forward future for my life clear, because I'm afraid what other people might think. And if you're afraid of what other people might think, you're only letting yourself down and allowing them to have control of your future. And you're like, why would you want someone else who doesn't have anything to do with your life, and who you really, if you think about it, at the end of the day, probably don't care that much about their opinion, to have control over your life? You have control over your life because you get clear, and then you charge forwards with the principles that cause you to get there. So that's what I've done. And that's why I started to get on YouTube to broadcast this content. I actually wanted to, and TikTok now, but I actually wanted to get on the social medias many years back. But I didn't, I wasn't intentional enough in our life to make it a reality. And honestly, I was a little bit afraid to get online and talk about the things that we've done, because I was like, well, what if what if somebody thinks it's stupid? And I was like, it's a really dumb thing to think. What if somebody does think? Of course, somebody's going to think something stupid that you're saying. Like, if you're doing anything that matters, somebody's going to think something stupid. So if you don't want to, but what if you could help people? So if you don't want to do the thing that you should do because you might look stupid, and you're withholding the thing that you could actually help people with because you're afraid you might look stupid, then you're giving those people power over you, and you're creating so much more of what this world doesn't need. You're not creating the things the world does need and helping it move forwards. And so that's why we started to create this channel. It's like, you know what? Screw it. We've got to pull ourselves together, and we've got to create the channel and start helping people. So that's why I post content each and every day. Um, on a bunch of different social media channels, and we're working to grow this as big as we possibly can. So if you know somebody who needs help in this area, it would be so meaningful to me if you would copy the link and send it to them and say, hey, like and follow this guy because he talks about some stuff that you need in your life, especially if you know somebody that actually needs help in this area and they're genuinely trying to get better, and they genuinely want to get better, but they just need some help and some guidance. And so that's what I'm aspiring to be on the socials. So if you're just new jumping on the chat, please like the live and please follow me on here, and share it with somebody who means something to you, and I would be very grateful for that. And as you go into the new year, remember, focus, vision. Okay, so focus that includes the thematic seasons and the reality of engaging the other people in your life. Vision that leads to goals, and leading yourself, and being consistently well, which is you becoming clear about the things you actually want, and then letting your mind and your activity being based on the principles that get you there. Those are the things that are going to move you out of I'm not where I want to be, to a life where you're actually charging forwards. You have the energy, you have the courage to move forwards, and you're really excited about the future. Because even through the ups and downs of life, even through the ups and downs of the challenges that I faced, and I look forwards with like, man, the future is so freaking exciting because maybe this year, had a great high, and or maybe this year you had a really deep low, but the future looks incredible because you know that these are the things that I'm after, and I've been able to apply the principles that got me here. So if I can get here, then I can definitely move to this level where I want to what I want to achieve in my life. So that's why I put these TikToks and YouTube lives out. And if you've got any value out of it whatsoever, please like the live and share it with somebody who matters to you. And I'm gonna jump off of here now. I hear my family coming up the stairs. I'm on the third floor in my house right now doing this broadcast, and I'm gonna jump off here in just a couple minutes. But if you have any questions about anything I've said, please drop it in the comment section. Please drop it in the chat. Please just follow up with us, and make sure that you engage with the content by way of liking, subscribing, or sending to a friend, to be able to help them. If you're like, this friend of mine, they really need some focus in their life. Like they need to get way better, and they actually do want to. Like, don't send stuff to people that don't want the don't want the content. But if they're genuinely at a place where they're like, I really don't want to be here, and I want to move to a different. I want to be able to. I want to know. I want to learn how to move forwards after completely, huge failure, or completely, just landing splat on the bottom. Then this is the place where you're going to find that information. This channel and the content that we broadcast. The reason that I do it consistently, week after week after week, is because you start, life happens, and then you get and so many elements of our life distract us. You start, life happens, and so many things come into our life and distract us. And I hate it when people use the excuse that my kids are distractions, because they're really not. Like, you made them, so they're not distractions. You were very focused when you were making those kids. So um you should I don't think that anybody should ever call their kids distractions. And so um uh my point is that so many things in our life, they are going to distract us from the process of winning over time. And what I want to say is, the reason that I stay online and I continue to put content out week after week after week is that I want to start the journey with you and help you move through that journey to help you be the hero in your life and actually win for yourself. Because I won for myself in massive ways for years now, and we've got some big goals that we're working towards and working to accomplish. But I want you to be able to do that long term. And so that's why I hope you go on the journey with us and that you actually follow the stuff and like, subscribe, engage with the content, share it with people that you know, and that you actually hopefully apply the material that we're broadcasting so that you can really benefit the most, more than anything, you can benefit from it. And so that would just bring such joy to my heart to know that we at least helped a few people grow. And we've had some testimonies from people, some testimonials from people that really matter a lot to me because I know them very closely as well, from different ways that the teaching, the information, and the consistency and the broadcasts have helped them. And so I just, I if you find yourself in a place you don't want to be, then this is exactly the channel you should be connected to because we can help you get there. So I will look forward to. I'm glad I was able to serve you today in the capacity of just sharing this information, and I hope that maybe it was some way helpful. If it has been, please like, subscribe, follow again, like the live, share with a friend, and I'm going to be checking out because I'm going to go have Christmas with my family. So I wish you and your family a very, very, very Merry Christmas and a most prosperous and very happy New Year. And I'm sure that it will be more prosperous if you like the live and if you follow us on TikTok, if you follow us on YouTube, and go and help and allow us to be part of that journey. That would be a very great honor for me, and I think it would be a very great help for you. So thanks again for spending time with me today, and I look forward to serving you in the future. Have a very Merry Christmas.